So as I look at this picture, I'm thinking back to this time and realizing how important my job is, but also how dangerous it was.
As 26-year Army veteran Teresa Clickener reminisces about her time in Afghanistan, so much comes to mind.
On March 4th, my birthday, we had a suicide bombing at one of the gates.
Powerful memories while serving abroad, kept in a journal. As an Army nurse, Teresa's job was to care for our deployed troops, but her heart was also with POWs and Afghan civilians, and for good reason.
As far as providing care to the Afghan people, it was a no-brainer because they protected me.
Teresa would return to Abilene and her family in 2009. Years later, she would retire from the military and graduate from Texas Tech, earning her nursing degree, leading to a second career in healthcare. But it was in 2021 that would forever change Teresa's life.
The United States ended 20 years of war in Afghanistan.
I believe there should be accountability for what I see as probably the biggest failure in American government on a military stage.
When Bagram fell in August of 2021, Teresa was on a nursing contract assignment in Washington, and because of how the withdrawal from Afghanistan went down, it left her and many others in a state of mind similar to veterans of the Vietnam War.
It was a shock for all of us that served. We struggled with what was our mission there and what did we accomplish there.
While processing her own grief, Teresa would attempt to turn the page to rally for Afghan refugees.
Of course, none of us knew where any of them were going, but I knew that for my own personal journey and to heal, like so many of us veterans, to heal, we needed to be there for them like they were for us.
From there, Teresa's husband, Robert, also a fellow military veteran, witnessed Teresa rise up for the refugees.
Teresa was on the phone with the IRC in Fort Worth. Just, hey, we have a place for displaced children. And, and before we knew it, we had families showing up here at the IRC in Abilene, Texas.
Following the call to the International Rescue Committee, Teresa welcomed 3 Afghan families to Abilene, where she was able to help them transition to life in the United States.
They came here with literally nothing except whatever clothes they could put on. I partnered up with my husband as well as another veteran who I served with in Afghanistan, and we were able to reach out to the community and find them resources.
But for one family, there was a special drive to American life.
This gentleman, he had never, of course, been to America. He had worked with Americans. He was a soldier in Afghanistan in the Afghan National Army himself. And as we progressed and he was learning a little bit more, we knew that he needed to learn how to drive so he could get to work and provide for his family. It was like driving whenever I was teaching my kids as teenagers, hitting the brakes hard or running through a stop sign and screaming a couple times. He was speechless. He did not know what to say except thank you.
I was able to get a vehicle, rebuild it in my shop, and when Dean Muhammad passed his driving test, we handed him a set of keys.
All in all, there's something to be said for people in this world, especially those we call neighbors, who can take the negatives of life and turn them into positives, just like Abilene's own Teresa Clickener.
In hindsight, it's probably the best healing that she could have ever had. It was just something that she needed to do, and I was going to support her in that.
For BigCountryHomepage.com, I'm Manny Diaz.